Money YouTube live session. And the same as usual, it's on Wednesday, but today is a little bit special because we have a special guest dialing from the other side of the continent. So he's from Australia, and then his Twitter account is called Get Paid More. If this is your first time watching this, I'm Yasi, the creator behind Fast Track podcast. We talk about career, money, and entrepreneurship. And together with me is my usual co-host, Matthias Richter. He is actually also called Financial Imagineer. So he's the creator behind this platform, or we call it a blog, Financial Imagineer, where he shares his personal experiences and insights to help you Imagineer your life financially. So let's dive into today's conversation is about get paid more. And our special guest, Mikey, here today with us. And his Twitter account name is Get Paid More. And I would like to know more about how you can actually get paid more. So let's dive into it. Welcome to the YouTube live session, Mikey.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be here. So what do you want to know?
Maybe you can start telling us a little bit about yourself. Why do you create this Twitter account called Get Paid More? What do you want to achieve?
Right. So Get Paid More. This all came about because I wrote a book. And the book that I wrote is about buying and selling secondhand goods for profit. So I wrote that book. I mostly finished it before I even created my Twitter account. I always do everything backwards. The process was, I thought, all right, I'll write a book. And then when I nearly finished it, I realized I needed an audience. I needed somebody to actually read it or pay for it. So that was when I found Life Math Money's Twitter guide. I had a couple of other Twitter accounts and I'd tried before. His Twitter guide basically tells you how to set up a profile, create an attractive bio, the sort of content that you want to curate into your feed to brand, those sorts of things. So initially I wanted to be what I want to be. I wanted to be a clone of him. Life Muscle Money or Muscle Man Money or something like that. All of the cool ones were taken, believe it or not. All of the interesting sounding Life Math Money clones were taken. And is it do I need to hold my mic up like that? Is that better?
No, it's fine. I think Matthias can increase the volume from the setting part, so it's okay.
Okay, sure. I'll just I'll leave my hands down here. Where was I? Trying to clone Life Math Money. I was trying to be him, and I couldn't find a good handle. So eventually, what I ended up with was Get Paid More. Yes, Muscle Man. Yeah. I was going to be something like that. Yes, I created the Twitter account, and since then I've been trying to teach people the benefits of flipping, how you can incorporate flipping into a sort of a working person's life, and what that can do for you, what it's done for me. I'm probably not as big on flipping as I should be because that's my brand, but yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Can you give us examples, like a couple of examples when you say flipping? What do you flip? Or what do you teach people to flip?
Yeah, well, what I mostly flip is video games. So that's considered easy mode. But that's what I like to do. I like Nintendo games specifically. So I sell a lot of them. I sell some watches. I sell some other electronics and things like that. I like small and expensive things. So when you talk about flipping, basically what you're doing is you're buying at a lower price somewhere and then you sell it back with a little bit on top to make some profit.
And where did you find those items and where do you sell them? How did you judge if the price is below the market, you can make a profit on it?
Okay, so this is also part of my longer story of flipping. So when I got a bit older and I realized that I needed a hobby and I needed something fun to do. And, maybe both of you guys are too young to realize this, but you get to a point in your life where you realize you don't enjoy anything anymore. It just happens. So I got to this point, I realized that I don't enjoy anything about my life. I need something fun. And I thought, hey, you know what? I used to enjoy video games, and I used to enjoy playing games and having fun and Mario and whatever. Why don't I go back and try that? So I was browsing secondhand markets, browsing, and I realized that Mario is still super expensive. So if you want to go back and have Mario good times and enjoy your youth, it costs heaps. So I was always watching these ads to see when I could find a cheap copy of what I'm looking for, or a cheap console, and I had a little list of games in my head. Which ones do I want? And eventually I found them, but after I found them, I still kept looking, like the game wasn't playing the game was finding the game. So I got stuck in this habit of shopping, keep on looking for the cheap ones, and eventually I decided I should just give in. I should buy the cheap ones because that's what I like, and I should resell them for profit because why not? And that's what I ended up doing. Yeah, instead of collecting games, I just trade them.
You can still play them when you buy them every once in a while, right? So
You can, but it comes back to the first problem where I don't enjoy anything anymore.
checkmate. Was it hard for you to get started flipping, or how did you get into flipping per se? Why did you choose flipping?
I think for a long time, you know, us type of people, the kind of people on the screen, we're looking for income. Yeah, we're looking for ways to make money. So the attempt that I began would be 2-3 years ago with video games. That wasn't the first time. Actually, I tried in my early 20s arbitraging cameras. I brought one in from Hong Kong. It was a pretty expensive one, and I did all the pricing wrong. So I got it from eBay. I brought it across, and when it arrived with me, I thought, okay, I can sell it for profit now. And I relisted it on eBay, and eBay's fees and PayPal's fees meant that it cost me over $100 to lose this camera. So yeah, I've been trying flipping for a long time. What was the question again?
The question of why flipping, or like why
Why?
did you pick
It
that?
works better than anything does for me. So as I was saying, we online income types are always trying something. Yeah, I've tried blogs, I've tried Amazon affiliates, I tried ClickBank. I have, what else have I tried? I've tried a lot of different things. And even now I have a couple of other different things going on that I consider not fantastic successes. But yeah, flipping is really fast. It's the profit is very easy. You don't need to be a great businessman. You don't need SEO skills.
Yeah.
You don't need coding. You barely even need sales ability, like really barely need it.
I
Because what
think
you're doing with flipping,
you cover some of the things you need to do and to avoid also on your YouTube channel. So Get Paid More here. He has a YouTube channel. I've watched some of his videos. Really
yeah,
great advice of what to do and what not to do. And it's very entertaining when you see how some people interact with you there, and how you choose the right guys to work with. Because I think there lies the skill. But I believe, like you said, if you do something wrong, maybe if you lose you cannot lose more than one game or something like that, right? So the potential loss is very, very limited. And if you do it right, I believe, like you do it very right, from what I have seen and what you have shared with us, right? So you can do easily like $100 per day on flipping every day if you have a system and you know your goods, you know what to buy, what to sell, what is the worth of everything. I think this is fascinating because a lot of people are not even aware that there could be such a simple passive income source per se. I think that's the exciting stuff about that.
yeah, for sure. I think people imagine that they need some clever system or they need to have spent $10,000 on coaching and they don't. You just need to buy stuff that people already want.
Yeah.
That's really it. Nothing more complex than that. What do they want? You go and buy it, and then you sell it to them.
Yeah.
End of story.
Do you have a system how to source the good deals? Do you have one of my friends, for instance, he's doing the same thing with Legos, and he has on several platforms like the Millennial Falcon and this and that, the big items. He has like limit reminders. If somebody would sell something like that for like $200, it will ping him, and then he will be the first one to react. And
that's much more advanced than me. For
Okay.
me, I'm a total caveman. I just go back to my platforms. I pull down on the screen to refresh them, watch that little loopy thing go like that, and then it refreshes and it tells me what's new, because I don't trust the platforms to alert me properly. You can set alerts on the ones that I use, but they're not fast or reliable. So I'm basically as obsessive in shopping as I am checking Twitter and those sorts of things. I just go back and maybe 2, 3, 4 times an hour update and see what's there.
And how much time would you say that you spent on all the work involved in your flipping side hustle?
Up to an hour a day, if that. I mean, if things come in, yeah, it really depends on what happens in that day. If a bunch of stuff arrives through post, then I've got photos to take and I gotta categorize them and make ads. That probably takes an hour. But beyond that, there's not a lot to do. You just update the marketplaces, check what's there, and see what's new. Contact the people that you need to. That doesn't take a lot of time though. Like, for example, you can be walking onto the train, update your marketplace while you're sitting down. You see an ad, type out a contact message, and that takes all of 10 seconds, and it's part of your day. You don't have to go out of your way. You don't have to really divert yourself from where you were. You just go back to whatever you were doing sitting on the train, and yeah, it fits in really well into a normal day.
Would you mind sharing by spending some time doing some put into some work on your daily life, what would be the profit that you can generate, just to give the audience an idea if it's like worth the time to do that?
If I may chip in before you answer that, what is your working capital that you need to bind into this? Like, is it like $1,000, $5,000, and then how often do you roll it? And then we can calculate our IRR, you know?
These are great questions. Okay, so working capital, when I started with $40, but I gave up on working capital. I don't keep any cash. I work off a credit card. So this is my favorite question, because again, people imagine that you need a lot of money to get started. You don't. You don't need any money. In fact, don't use money. It slows you down. Money has a lot of problems. The first is the way in which it exists. Okay, so cash, if it physically exists in your hand, how do you then hand it to someone else? Can't pass it through the screen, can I? It's not going to go to you. So if you've got to be physically present with your seller or with your buyer, your cash is then limiting you to physical space. So don't use cash. It keeps you in one spot. I use a credit card because then it is digital money, and then it can be sent or spent anywhere from here to the other side of the world. So my credit card links with PayPal. Anybody who has a PayPal account can then be paid. So in the real world, if I wanted to go to you, Matt, and say, hey, let me pay you back for that coffee the other day. Here's my credit card number. You can't draw on my credit card. Number one, is weird. Number two, you can't do that. But PayPal allows you to do that person to person. It means that credit card can work as an interpersonal payment method. So that beats the hell out of cash. The other thing is that you don't want the limitation of cash in your buying. So let's talk about my shelf at the moment. I probably have $3,000 of goods there, and I didn't pay cash for any of it. I just take the credit card pay with the credit card, and then when I sell back, pay the principal back and keep my profit. So my profit grows in a little stack, and I never need to use that for paying for goods. Does that
Second
answer
part of
your
the question was
question?
the time. How much time does it need?
How much time?
You said 1 hour before.
Yeah, and again, it depends on the goods. So, and the season. It depends on a lot of different things. Recently, things have been quite slow for me. So the type of goods that I've been buying haven't been selling super fast. And I don't know if that's due to mid-year sales. In Australia, the financial year ends on June 30th. And all of the big businesses have cleanup sales to reduce their some sort of accounting burden where they have to do a stock take and report all their goods on hand, so that they just turn it all into cash. They try to sell as much as they can before June 30th. That means that the things that I sell can be competitively priced in a retail store. So if a retail store is selling at roughly secondhand price, why are you going to buy from the secondhand guy? You're just not. So that might be a reason. Another reason is the type of goods that I sell. They might be getting a little bit old, so due for a refresh from the manufacturer. Those things are unrelated to me. They're out of my control, but they do affect the time that it takes to sell these things. Yeah.
You mentioned that you are focusing on flipping the games. Do you also flip other items?
Yeah, whatever I can find that comes up profitably. Now, I'll tell you a big secret about flipping games, and the reason why I flip games is because sellers can't accurately price large groups of this stuff, like large bundles. If they're lazy or busy, or they just don't get it, then they inaccurately price a bunch of stuff just to get rid of it nice and quick. The amount of stuff in the bundle confuses them, and then I can buy it profitably. Other things that I buy and sell, so for example, there's a type of noise cancelling headphones by Sony. I've bought and sold them quite a few times. They're harder to sell because it's an individual item, which makes it easier for a seller to accurately price. Or watches. If you're selling one watch, you know what the price of that individual item is. You're not going to be in a rush or get confused about what it should cost if it's one individual item. It's very easy to go on eBay or go on the watch reselling websites and find the price for that. So those things are really difficult to buy because sellers know what they should cost anyway. Yeah. Did I just completely divert off the question?
No, you shared your biggest secret with us.
All right. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
secret? I have to have a follow-up question on this secret. So what you're talking about is that, for example, for games, because people are selling it in bundles, and then they don't bother to identify the individual game, the right price. So they just sell it at a price where you see it's actually below if you sell them individually. Therefore, you buy it, and then you can price it at the market price and then sell it. But the second part I don't understand is that when you say the price of a watch or the price of something that it's individual item, but people can find it on eBay, right? People can find those individual item price. So how is yours is more competitive than if they find an alternative source elsewhere?
Okay, think about a bundle of games. So you got a console and maybe 5 to 10 games.
Yeah.
Do you want to manage and meet 5 to 10 individual buyers, or do you want to just get rid of it all in one go? Now, the answer depends on what sort of person you are. If
Yeah.
you're a working professional and money doesn't matter a lot to you, say, it was an impulse buy and you don't care what happens to it, just give me some money back and I can afford drinks on the weekend. Or if you're a busy parent, my ungrateful kid doesn't deserve this bunch of stuff and they haven't played with it as much as I thought they would, just give me some money back for it. It depends on the type of person you are. So it's not every bundle is inaccurately priced. Actually, I go through all of this in a book that I wrote, and
I love the name of your book, by the way. The book is called Garbitrage, right?
Arbitrage. The
Garbitrage.
arbitrage of garbage.
Yes.
But the reason people do this is because they are all in different situations. So some of them are lazy, some of them are rich, some of them are uninterested in doing multiple sales.
But
So
are
if
you
it's the effort that they would put in, you can turn that effort into a profit in some cases.
but are you concerned that some of the items that you bought that you might not be able to sell it? Or you already have the experience, you know what is the right price for which item?
Yeah, now this can be a concern. The way that I get around it is if I don't know what the item's going to sell for, I find out what it sells for. I create an average price for it. And then from that average price, I subtract 20 to 30%. And that subtracted price is my buy price. That gives me room to screw up a little bit and still get away with it.
Okay, I think you have a fan here. It's from Click to Sell.
Yeah, that's my buddy James. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go on an interview with James this afternoon. It's it's morning time here in Australia, and I don't know if everybody knows, but I just woke up. I'm pretending that I didn't, but I did. And in the afternoon, when I'm a bit more conscious, I'm going to go on an interview with James, and we'll see what we can. James is not my fan; he's my good buddy.
Yeah, okay. But I wonder if some of the audience here, I saw we have audience here watching. James said he is a fan enough. So.
Contradict me live.
So we have audience watching from YouTube, from Facebook, and also from Twitter. And if you have any questions regarding flipping, making side hustle income, feel free to write in the comment.
The window that I can type this in. I get so absorbed in my stuff. Like when I buy something interesting, I begin to love it and I want to tell everybody about it. This one was pretty cool. It was a G-Shock Range Man, which is like, it's about a $1,200 watch in the shop. But this one was a limited edition, very hard to find, completely sold out. And I got it for about $550, which is wild, totally wild sale price. And I thought to myself, all right, $550, and it's a limited edition and it's sold out. You can't buy it anywhere. I'm going to get over $2,000 for this. And I was so pumped up on it, and I put it up on eBay and put the price as like 2,200. Buy it now. It's going to happen. And, bragging to my wife and telling her all this stuff about what's going to happen. And you know what? You know what I eventually got rid of it for? It sat on my shelf for about 6 weeks. 6 weeks of pressure and heat and feeling like, oh gosh, what have I bought? And I got rid of it for 800 in the end. But it was such a cool watch. Honestly, if I showed you guys, I think Yassi would be repulsed by it and Matt might be impressed because it's such a dude's watch. It's a guy's watch, masculine, it's thick, it's muscly. It just looked really cool. And it has all these functions like a compass, all the things that you use when you're getting groceries, air pressure.
You need that.
Yeah. You, as a man, you got to be ready for adventure anytime. And this was the adventure watch, and it was going to make me $1,500, and it just never happened.
But why? It's like people don't like it, so there's no enough traffic to the site, or
no, it's on eBay. You tell me, are they missing traffic?
Maybe they don't have this.
On Earth don't know about eBay. No, the thing is, rare goods are thinly traded goods. The rarer it is, the rarer your buyer is. So we talk about Nintendo Switch, yeah? Currently the most popular gaming console on the planet.
Yeah.
Do you struggle to find a buyer for that? No, you don't. It's very easy to find a buyer for that because it's the most popular thing in the world. They got advertising budget. They got everything. It's on shelves in the shops. there's no child that doesn't know what it is. But you talk about G-Shock Rangeman Land Cruiser Edition. Who knows? Who knows what you're talking about? Nobody. So
What you say in general, is it a bigger margin on things that are more rare that you can get? And there, I would suppose there is a much more compressed margin on stuff that is more popular, like Switch.
not
Probably
necessarily.
not necessarily.
Yeah. Well, use the example of the Rangeman watch.
Yes, yes.
Margin was about 30 to above 30%, but not 40%.
Mm.
Yeah. Whereas Switch games, the good ones, my margin's 100% every time. Yeah. Now we're
That's
not
nice.
talking about margin in the same
So
percentage.
you can
work
double your
working.
money every week.
Well,
Roll the dough.
yeah, no,
If
not really,
opportunities
not really.
arise.
But on those individual items, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So you just, when you sell something regularly, you know what to expect. That G-Shock's the second time I sold one of them. The first time I made $100, and you just gotta swallow your pride a bit. Just get the deal done. No room for ego. Just make a profit.
Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
do you have a deadline given to yourself that how long a item can sit on a website?
I don't, but I don't choose things that will take too long. So if I've bought and sold something that took forever, I will purposely avoid picking that back up. One deadline that I suppose is, pretty real is the credit card deadline. 30 days to pay back your principal, otherwise interest kicks in. You mustn't let interest kick in. So some of these things are pretty real.
So you are flipping two folds. You are flipping the money from the credit card company, and also you are flipping the games.
Yes. And then I take my profit and then I invest that. So I flip again. 3 of them.
Wicked, wicked. Money
have
figured out.
You have to work out the timing right.
Oh yeah. In a way, it's just a little business, and anybody who's doing a business, if they're working off a bank loan, they have those deadlines. The bank knows when they want their repayments. Yeah.
So we have a question from Click to Sell. When you sell, do you always make it an auction or is it a fixed price?
Well, it's a combination. Nothing's ever an auction. Nothing's ever a fixed price. Everything's a discussion. So I don't list on eBay because their fees are really predatory. I don't go to them. If I worked on eBay, then I would lose heaps of my money and be a long way behind where I am today. So I work on fee-free marketplaces. I have one called Gumtree here. Also Facebook Marketplace. It's free to use here. You guys should have Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
It's never an auction. It's never a fixed price either.
Do you negotiate people?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
If
yeah.
someone wants to buy more stuff, I'm flexible. If someone wants me to go to more trouble, I'm less flexible.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you come to pick up from me at my house and you want to buy a heap of stuff, sure,
Yeah.
I'm going to work with you.
Yeah.
If you want to buy one single item from me and you need it posted to the moon, well, then it's going to be fixed price. That's my wake up alarm. Time for me to wake up. All right.
Matt, do you have any questions?
Well, it's just super interesting to have you here today. Maybe if somebody listens to this now and thinks, hey, this is really, really cool, I also want to get started flipping stuff, what would you recommend? How to do your first baby steps in flipping? If somebody asks you now for any advice, like how to make the first steps in this world?
Yeah,
my
baby steps were expensive. I lost money on my baby steps. So avoid baby steps if you can. Go into something that you know is going to be profitable. So just start with the things that people want. I suppose a way to do it would be look at the catalogs, see what the shops are selling, or go on Amazon and search their best sellers, see what you can find, see some sort of crossover between what's selling best in the retail world and what you can find. Because I do secondhand, yeah. A lot of these guys, for them, flipping means going into Target and cleaning out the discount section and then immediately relisting that on eBay. I don't do that because it takes a lot of time. I'm not interested in wandering around retail shops looking and wondering if, is this the right Elmo, or was it a different Elmo that's selling hot this season? I don't want to bother about that. But I mean, retail flipping, that can be a way to get your feet wet. For me, probably the best way to do it is if there's an item that you like. What do you personally like? So for me, that's electronics. That's part of my personality. I like that kind of stuff, but it's also part of a calculation because electronics are small and expensive. That means you can post them for less than $10. So here's one for free. The concept of value density. If you have a $10 item, you don't want to spend $100 shipping the damn thing. Otherwise, number one, you're not going to get buyers. Number two, you're going to go broke when you do get a buyer. So buy and sell things that can be shipped with a really negligible cost. That works two ways too. So when the seller's sending to you, you can sneak the shipping cost onto them. Say, all right, my offer is slightly less than what you're asking. Oh, and my offer, yeah, that includes shipping. You're gonna pay that for me, and they might do it. They might do it because it doesn't cost that much, and it's less trouble, and they get the sale today, and they just want to be done with it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a question also. The Rainmaker on YouTube just asked, do you only sell physical goods or do you also sell digital items or things?
Well, I have an ebook. It's not flipping though. I mean, it might be flipping labor.
Where can the audience find your ebook?
Oh, go to my Twitter and you'll find a way to it from there.
Twitter is very easy. @GetPaidMore. That's it.
@GetPaidMore. That's me.
@GetPaidMore. The name is program.
So digital goods are basically worthless, and it took a bit of trial and error to understand that as well. Digital goods have very, very little resale value, and you can see that with the guys who resell, say, Windows codes. When they're reselling a Windows code, Windows is $150 in the shop. They sell codes for $6. So what do you suppose their margin is there? What do you suppose they're making on each sale? If you have, say, a Steam account, with all of the PC games, number one, it's against the terms of policy to resell that. So if Steam finds out that you resold it, that account evaporates. Your buyer loses access. Number two, what's the real value that you're selling there? So if something can be rescinded immediately, taken away from your buyer, then the value is very, very low to begin with. So maybe $10 for every 100. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. And then you have to find a buyer for that. And then you have to go through the rigor of selling and making sure the deal happens and taking payment properly. And it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Digital goods, I've sold a couple, just accounts on consoles that I've sold. And the extra that I can add, the market doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
If there's $200 of games on there, they don't believe it's $200. You could put $40 extra on, get away with that. You can't even put on half the value. So digital goods haven't worked well for me. If they work well for you, God bless you. That's not my world.
I do agree with you that I think tangible goods, people put more value in tangible goods, especially something they can use and they see, or they are already very familiar with it. And the digital item or information product, something either you need to spend a lot of marketing, building a brand, or establish authority that they trust you, then they buy it from you because it's informational products. So what I like that you talk about, you see what people are buying, like the catalogs, what is now on demand. Then from that you can kind of estimate what is people are looking for, right? So I think it's a very smart way to look at it, reverse engineering. So I don't see any questions from the audience. Any questions from your side, Matthias, or any last advices from your side, Mike?
My last, hey, I got some good advice. Yeah, I have a free book. You don't have to spend any money. My actual system process book is a bit expensive, but that's because it makes real money. I have a free book and it contains most of my process. If you are interested, get my free book and have a look through it. And I believe that my free book contains all the information that you would need in order to get started.
Cool.
All right. So they can find your free book on your link on your Twitter account, right?
I think so.
Send it to us and we will put it to the comments. Just send it to us, we will include it there. And for anyone who does not follow Get Paid More yet, please do follow him. It's Mike is super entertaining. He's full of value, full of wisdom nuggets that he shares on a daily basis. It's a true pleasure to follow him, and you will not regret. It's just awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been really fun. That 40 minutes just flew by.
Yeah. So we will make sure that your Twitter account and then the resource information will be in the link in the show notes, or you can find it in the comment section. We will add it on. And thank you so much, audience, for being here with us. If you are watching this replay, also make sure that join us on the live session on Wednesday if you can. And then we will see you there. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Next Wednesday, we will have the frugal expat, Steve, and we will talk about geographic arbitrage and a lot of other interesting concepts. See you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.